What's that? Hey, look at this coin. Well, it's mine now, huh? You know the old rule, finders keepers. Oh. Hey everybody, welcome to this latest edition of Cat Shorts. Small videos about big ideas in the Christian faith using our older brother in the faith, Martin Luther's Small Catechism. Just so happens, I always walk around my house carrying my copy of the Catechism and wearing my Martin Luther or 16th century reformer hat, and this is a convenient time to talk about the Seventh Commandment. The Seventh Commandment goes something like this: no stealing. Really is that simple. You shall not steal. Our older brother in the faith, Martin Luther, helpfully says that commandment isn't just about breaking into somebody else's house and taking what's theirs out of their wall safe or something. But our older brother in the faith, Martin Luther, says we're supposed to fear and love God so that we don't take our neighbor's money or property or try and acquire them with shoddy merchandise or crooked deals, but instead help our neighbor to improve and to protect what's theirs. Which means that the old playground logic of finders keepers isn't really how we do things in the kingdom of God. In God's reign, in God's kind of community, it's not just enough for me to say, I found it, it's mine, or I called dibs, or I tricked you into agreeing to something, so since it's legal, or there's a loophole, or technically I'm allowed to do it, it must be okay. The world operates with rules like that all the time. Sure, we have rules and laws against breaking and entering, or against burglary and breaking into somebody's house and stealing things, but my goodness, we do an awful lot of trickery to try and cheat people, swindle people, trick people, scheme people, all with the attitude of, well, it's technically allowed, or it's technically legal, or there's a loophole, or there's a reason that this is legally allowed, and therefore it must be okay. Luther calls our bluff and goes, that isn't how things work among the people of God. We're called to actively help protect our neighbor's stuff. So it's not just that I have a right to my stuff and you can't take it from me, but if I find something that I'm pretty sure isn't really mine but is my neighbor's, I'm not entitled to just say finders, keepers, losers, weepers, but instead I'm called actively to help my neighbor to get what's theirs because they might need it. Somebody needs this coin. Maybe they don't know where it went or where they dropped it, and maybe it would be compassionate of me, loving of me, caring of me, just of me to help them get back what's theirs. Again, we're so used to hearing the commandment about stealing only in the negative, that as long as I haven't broken into my neighbor's house or robbed a bank, I haven't stolen and I haven't broken the commandment. Luther says, no, we're always called to do the positive, the old Lutheran twist, not just avoid this bad thing, but how do I actively help my neighbor? And how are they actively called to help me? We're constantly called to look out for each other. After all, if I'm the one who dropped the coin on the floor, I would want somebody to help me find what was mine. And if somebody else has lost something, or I have the ability to help restore something to my neighbor, the right thing to do, the good, decent thing, the neighborly thing to do, is to help my neighbor out and help them find what's theirs and restore and protect what belongs to them. It turns out all the commandments really are about how do I take care of my neighbor as a way of honoring and loving God above all else. Because honestly, if I am so bent on getting other people's stuff, it's a way of saying to God, I don't trust God to provide me the things I'll need for this life. And really, that's what God's after, developing a trusting relationship where we trust that God will give us what we need day by day by day in this life. And when I take things from other people, I'm not only hurting my neighbor who's made in God's image, but I'm also saying to God, I don't trust you to give me the things I need for this life, so I've got to take it from somebody else. It's an act of faith, then. It's a real act of faith and trust in God, not to steal, not to trick, not to scheme, not to play any of those games, no matter even if the loud voices in our culture say, it's allowed because it's not against the law, or it's allowed because there's a loophole. We don't play that game. We're just simply called to love our neighbor. Whether you're at the bank or at the store or doing deals on the stock market or real estate or finding a coin on the carpet in the floor. Hey, join us next time for our next conversation on cat shorts, and hopefully we won't be on the floor next time. See you later.